tea has long been praised for its health benefits, whether it's green tea with its catechins and antioxidants, black tea for its flavonoids, or herbal infusions that offer anti-inflammatory and calming effects. Milk, too, is known for providing a valuable source of calcium, protein, and vitamins like B12 and D. When consumed in moderation and without excessive additives, these two staples, tea and milk, can support a well-rounded diet. However, the commercial phenomenon known as bubble tea, or boba, has become something else entirely. What began as a simple blend of milk and tea with a few chewy tapioca pearls has spiraled into a dessert-like beverage that carries more in common with a milkshake than a cup of tea. Modern bubble tea, the kind sold in global chains and colorful Instagrammable cups, is often a health hazard in disguise. The very elements that make traditional tea and milk healthy are quickly overwhelmed by the ultra-processed additions, sweetened syrups, flavored powders, artificial colorings, and the worst offender of all, sugar. Bubble tea frequently contains 30 to 60 grams of sugar per serving. To put that in perspective, that's equivalent to 7 to 15 teaspoons of sugar, far surpassing the American Heart Association's daily recommendations for both men and women. In fact, a single large bubble tea can contain more sugar than a can of soda, yet it's still commonly marketed as a trendy, fun, and even semi-healthy treat. The tapioca pearls themselves, the bubbles, are pure starch. Often boiled in sugary syrup, they offer virtually no nutritional value, only calories, carbohydrates, and an additional glycemic spike. Add-ins like jelly cubes, popping boba, and pudding make the problem worse, not better. Many of the flavorings used in commercial bubble teas don't even come from real tea leaves or whole ingredients. Instead, they're created using artificial chemicals designed to mimic the taste of fruits, matcha, taro, or other popular flavors. These chemical additives, when consumed regularly, may increase the burden on your liver and kidneys, especially in individuals already vulnerable to metabolic or organ conditions. And let's not forget portion size. While a traditional cup of tea might be 8 ounces, bubble tea servings often range from 16 to 32 ounces, essentially doubling or tripling the calorie count without the consumer realizing it. For example, a 24-ounce cup of brown sugar milk tea with tapioca can clock in at more than 500 calories. That's a quarter of the recommended daily intake for an average adult, delivered mostly in the form of sugar and refined carbs. Drinking this regularly, especially on top of other sugary foods throughout the day, contributes to weight gain, insulin resistance, and increased risk of type 2 diabetes. There's a psychological trap here too. Bubble tea is often positioned as an innocent indulgence, something fun and harmless. Because it's tea-based, many people assume it's healthier than soda, energy drinks, or milkshakes. This marketing sleight of hand is dangerous. Many bubble tea consumers are teens and young adults who may not be fully aware of just how much sugar and artificial content they're consuming on a regular basis. It becomes part of a lifestyle, a social routine, with no warning labels, no nutritional transparency, and virtually no education from vendors or brands about the potential health consequences. It's also worth mentioning that bubble tea is part of a broader trend of highly palatable, hyper-customizable, and visually stimulating foods that are engineered for overconsumption. With infinite options for toppings, sweetness levels, milk types, and colors, these drinks are essentially fast food in disguise. The personalization makes them feel bespoke and better for you, but this is often a mirage. Even half sugar or less sweet versions can still contain double-digit grams of sugar, especially when toppings are factored in. And unfortunately, most people don't realize just how often less sweet still means unhealthy, just marginally less unhealthy than the full sugar option. The danger doesn't lie in the occasional bubble tea treat. The real risk is when it becomes a routine part of one's diet, replacing water, unsweetened tea, or other lower-calorie beverages. Combined with a sedentary lifestyle and a processed food-heavy diet, frequent bubble tea consumption adds yet another source of empty calories to an already overburdened metabolic system. Over time, this can worsen inflammation, increase visceral fat, elevate blood pressure, and contribute to the growing global epidemic of obesity and metabolic syndrome. So while it's true that tea can be healthy and milk can be nutritious, bubble tea, as it's popularly consumed, is a sugar trap that has very little to do with either of those things. It lures in the health-conscious with its tea base and then drowns them in syrup, starch, and chemicals. It's not a light refreshment, it's a stealth dessert. And if more people don't start reading the fine print, we're going to see a generation of younger adults and teens walking straight into lifestyle-related illnesses, all while sipping something they thought was harmless.